Yeah, you can. Right there is fine. You could sit in the chair if it's easier. Yeah, you can sit. Yeah. There's a lot of old timers in here now. You ready? Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Allah. La ilaha illallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Ahmaduhu wa asta'inuhu wa astadihi wa astaghfiruhu wa umminu bihi jalla wa ala wa la akfuruhu wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu arsalahu bil huda wa din al-haq liyadhhiruhu ala ad-din kullihi wallahu Kariha al-Mushrikun. All praise belongs to Allah. We praise Him. We seek His help, His assistance, and His guidance. We believe in Him and do not disbelieve in Him. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is His servant and messenger. Allah sent Him, that is Muhammad, with Deen al-Haq, the religion, the way, the methodology of truth. And this way of life, known as Islam, will rise to its proper position in this world, whether the mushriks like it or not. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna Allah yahmaru bil adli wal ihsani wa itai dil kurba wa yanhanil fashai wal munkari wal bagi yaitakum la'alakum tadakkarun. Allah commands justice, the doing of good, and liberality to kith and kin. He forbids all shameful deeds and injustice and rebellion. He instructs you that you may receive admonition. فَمَنْ يَرِيدِ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَهْدِيَهُ يَشْرَحْ صَدْرَهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ. وَخَيْرُ الْمِلَالِ مِلَّةُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَخَيْرُ السُّنَنِ سُنَّةُ مُحَمَّدٍ sallallahu alayhi wasallam wa ashraful hadith dhikrullah wa asanu al-kasasi hadha al-Quran wa khayrul umuri awazzimuha wa shayrul umuri muhtatatuha wa asanu al-hadyu hadyu al-anbiya wa ashraful maut katlu shuhada wa amma al-amma dalalatul ba'd al-huda وخير الأمال ما نفاء وخير الهادي ما أتباء وشير الأمة أما الكلب. The Prophet ﷺ said the most truthful of discourses is Kitabullah. The most trustworthy word is taqwa, or fear of Allah. We used to talk a long time ago about muttaqi leadership. That was one of Dr. Kaleem Siddiqui's favorite phrases, and it was prominent in his writings about muttaqi leaderships. That is, leaders that have taqwa, which is very rare. You don't, well, I mean that. Anyway, the best of the community is the community of Prophet Ibrahim. The best way of life is the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The remembrance of Allah is the most glorious of all things. Best of all narrations is Quran. The best acts are those requiring the highest degree of will and determination. The worst acts are those based on innovation. The best way of life is the one adopted by the prophets of Allah. The most glorious death is the death of the martyr. The most wretched blindness consists of going astray after finding the right way. The best acts are the ones that yield benefits. The best guidance is that which people may be able to follow. The worst blindness is the blindness of the heart. It goes on to say the upper hand is better than the lower one, and the less which can meet one's needs is better than the more, which can cause neglectfulness. فَمَنْ يَرِيدِ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَهْدِيَهُ يَشْرَحْ صَدْرَهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ. Those whom in Allah's plan willeth to guide, He opens their breast to Islam. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ حَقَّ تُقَاتِهِ وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. O you believe, fear Allah as He should be feared, and do not die except in the state of Islam. وَتَسِّمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. And hold fast all together by the rope which Allah stretches out for you, and be not divided amongst yourselves. And it goes on to say, and remember with gratitude Allah's favor on you. That means when you were scattered and Allah brought you all together. وَأَتَسِّمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا. Jami'an, like this is Jum'ah. When you clench your fist, that's called Jam al-Yad. Yad, hand, Jam, when you unite them boys together into a fist. And that's one of the reasons in Arabic and in African studies and history, you always see the closed fist as a sign of power and force. And then we as black people, they high five now, but when you used to see each other a long time ago, you did like this, down here, not way up there. Like now, everybody, you got a high five. I said, well, okay. I mean, maybe I'm just out of date. Maybe I'm back. You have to kind of zoop. That's right. Allahu Akbar. Anyway. Kuntum khayra umatin ukrijat lil nasi tamaruna bil ma'rufi wa tanhauna 'anil munkar wa tu'minuna billah. You're the best peoples ever raised up for mankind because you enjoin the right, forbid the wrong, and you believe in Allah. Aqulu qawli hadha wa astaghfirullah li wa lakum. Allah subhanallah alhamdulillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. A free human being is free in all circumstances. Should a misfortune befall him, he bears it with patience, that is sabr. If calamities strike him, they do not shatter him. If taken captive and subdued, he turns hardship into ease. A lot of people don't understand that concept of changing hardship into ease. Somebody wanted to oppress you and make you broken and subservient, and you turn that into the very factor that caused strength and ability and caused you to have a grand history. You changed it. You flipped the script, as they said. If taken captive and subdued, he turns hardship into ease, as was the case of Yusuf, the trustworthy, the truthful. His freedom saved him from harm, although he was enslaved, subdued, and imprisoned. The darkness of the pit, the dread, and whatever befell him did no harm to him until God favored him and made the insolent tyrant who had been his master his slave. Then Allah made him his apostle, and through him was merciful to a people. And this way, patience is followed by God, by good. Inna ma'al usri yusra, inna ma'al usri yusra. Good, right, or struggle or hardship is followed by ease. And Umar radiallahu anhu, he said that the Prophet, peace be upon him, had told him that there's 2 eases for every hardship. So if you receive 1 hardship, it's followed by 2 eases. And I will try to bear witness to that today, because if everybody look at what's going on with us, they would say, I don't want to have nothing to do with that. Good God Almighty. Who want to put up with that kind of stuff? Who want boss man breathing down his neck all day long, counting everything they do, counting the breaths, all that. That's what the public would say. But they have to ask us, hopefully, why are we happier, contented more than everyone else? It's because that's the way we look at that. After every hardship comes ease. After every 1 hardship that they do, we have 2 eases. We have nothing to claim to cry about. Anyway, we'll go into that a little later. Then Allah made him his apostle, and through him was merciful to a people. This way, patience is followed by good. So be patient and reconcile yourself to patience in order to be rewarded. So this is a hadith on sabr, on patience. There's many hadith like that says, or one especially that I remember, that patience is half of faith. As-Sabru wa nifsul iman. Now, we've always heard the one about getting married perfects half of your faith, right? Why? Because we're always thinking about getting married or divorced or something like that. And we're not thinking about, we don't even remember that hadith. As-Sabru wa nifsul iman. Patience is half of faith. That's why we always had this saying for years, 95% of ability is stick ability, the ability to hold on, the ability to stick to what you're doing. This is unbelievable, the amount of blessings that come from that characteristic and that attitude. 95% of ability is stickability. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wal as innal insana lafi khus ila alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. By the token of time, through the ages, verily man is in loss except such as have faith and do righteous deeds and join together in the mutual teachings of truth, patience, and constancy. There's another translation of that I like of this. It says, by the gift of time, as it has unfolded itself through the ages, recording man's successes and failures. Surely man is in a state of loss, except those who believe and do good and join together in the mutual teachings of truth, patience, and constancy. Why do you think we always relate to history? Remember, we repeat it every week, that our guideline is the Quran, the book of Allah. And next is the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The rest is history. Remember, because it says, travel in the earth and see what was the end of those, right? And reflect on that historical period. When you reflect on that historical period, you'll see that what we're going through now is child's play, but it is right in the frame of history. Then in number 4, we take our experience here in America. The Quran is a unique book, and it talks in general about the experiences of humanity. So you can just go to the bank with that. But now, each prophet, messenger, and good person, mujaddid, reviver, renewer, restorer, those people came in their environment. Now, we're here in an American environment, and we were brought here, transferred here, requisitioned here by an enemy who hated everything about us. Hated our race, color, what we looked like, what our hair was like. Wouldn't even, they had a thing a long time ago about without a comb. That means black people. See, when I was young, we would use white folks' combs. And, of course, we'd break them all the time. Because they had the big end down here, and then they had the little end down there. And you know we couldn't use. That was a few amongst our people who had hair that could possibly go through the small end, but it wasn't me and you. It was -5% of the Negroes. You'd break them combs every other day. So if we had to sing without a comb, we didn't know that back home, just think, that we had a pick. And in the 1950s, I saw some motion, not a motion picture, but one of them travel things, and it showed the Watusis in Africa. You know, they used to have Watusis. I think they done just about extincted them, but they was all tall. And they were at a big stream, and the guy was grooming himself, and he had a pick. That's how they got their hair up like they, and I said, what is that? I mean, I went on about my business, but when they came out with a pick later on, I realized what it was. But by the gift of time, as it has unfolded itself through the ages, recording man's successes and failures, recording what human beings did, what was successful and what was unsuccessful, right? What he did right and what he did wrong. What he did that caused reward and what he did that caused pain. That is a recorded part of history. We are supposed to recognize history. The Quran, the Hadith, history. And then let us not ignore something that people want us to ignore, our own personal history as a people here in the United States and African people all over the world. It's a unique history. But here is a special history. Australia have a special history, but it fits into the same pattern of colonialism, neo-colonialism, and all of that. But in detail, we have to refine our life in the historical present, hooked to the past that we dealt with here. And that's what wal'as means, to by the gift of time. Call it not just that, a gift of time, and just think what the greatest gift you got. You got life, you got time. If you use that time right, it's going to be all right for you. If you use it wrong, it'll be, boy, I wish I wouldn't have been born. You know, the white man tell you, I'll make you wish you wasn't been born. Or they say, I'm going to put you so far back in the hole, they're going to have to pump sunlight to you. That's what the white man tell you. That means he going to have you so far back in the dark in his penitentiary that he going to have to pump sunlight to you because the hole is always dark. Anyway, let me continue. So by the token of time, through the ages, verily man is in loss, except those who believe, do good, and join together in the mutual teachings of truth, patience, and constancy. O my son, establish regular prayer, enjoin what is just, forbid what is wrong, and bear with patient constancy whatever betide thee. For this is firmness of purpose in the conduct of affairs. 95% of ability is stickability. That's what this is saying. The ability to hold on, the ability to continue over a long period of time. And we always talk about a protracted struggle. And that's what we have here. That's what we have in America. We must have, we don't must have, we hope to have, we hope to continue to have that long range view, patience and constancy. That's a gift. So it's the determining factor in all affairs. Another one very similar. You shall certainly be tried and tested in your possessions and in your personal selves, and you shall certainly hear much that will grieve thee from those who received the book before you and from those who worship many gods. But if you persevere patiently and guard against evil, that will be the determining factor in all affairs. The ability to hold on. 95% of ability is stickability, right? The ability to hold on. When everybody else get tired, you keep on rolling. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because we have inculcated some of that stickability in our behavior. The masjid, the community have incorporated some of that characteristic in the behavior of the masjid in the community. Because it's not that it's been here a long time. It's not that Oakland has been there a long time, but we outlasted literally everybody except the people who maybe, I'm not saying sold out, but didn't have a clear picture. Some people had everything we would have liked to have, but they had it and they didn't know what to do with it. But it wasn't their time. If it would have been their time, they would have did it. On the clock, they did a good job with what Allah gave them. Allah gave a personality, a community, and they used to believe what was student enrolled, something. Who is the original man? The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, creamer of the planet Earth, father of civilization and God of the universe. The Negroes believe that may not even go to hell. You know why? It's so ridiculous. I mean, Allah might just say that they had they may get special circumstances. I'm just joking, of course. Who is the original man? The original man is the Asiatic black man, me and you. See, back in Yaqub's time, and we all had straight hair and everything. You could tell because we got our eyebrows are straight. See, you could tell that. And all the things, that, anyway, there was a lot of stuff going on in those days. But who is the original man? Can you imagine the level of shirk that is? Why, the original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker. They said the Negro is God. He's the maker. He's the owner. Cream of the planet of Earth. Father of civilization. And God of the universe. Good God Almighty. That's why I say they may get special circumstances. They said, Allah just the special circumstances. It's gone. Get out of here. Hopefully they do, because that's not shirk. That's unbelievable. That's something beyond shirk. Shirk it means to associate one thing with another, to associate Illahs with God, a little God, which is not a God, with Allah. That's shirk. But they don't say the little shirk is the maker, the owner, cream of the planet Earth. The little shirk made everything. Throw the big one out. The big one didn't do nothing. He didn't have nothing to do with this. It's a little shirk that done everything. It's not possible, impossible, and ridiculous. And the Negro, when he pumped that stuff up, he was coming out of slavery, backwardness, and buffoonery, right? Allah may give him a pass. It's because incapacitated. If you are incapacitated, right, if you can't walk, right, if you can't stand up and pray and bow down, you don't have to, right? If you're too old to fast, you don't have to. The prophets may ask for special circumstances for the Negro. Well, Allah, can we institute the special circumstances clause? Well, for who? Of course, Allah would know, but it's just, because the hadith say, for who and for what? And Allah already know, right? But it's so you will understand the question and the reality. Well, it's for the Negro. And what's the circumstances? He just didn't have no sense. He didn't have no light got to him. He didn't have no light. Did nothing get to his mind. Right? And when a flicker of something came, he snatched out at it like a lightning bolt. Jumped up at it, right? And that's it. Inshallah, we'll see. Just one or two more ayats. I'm going to leave y'all alone today. You watch it. I'm going to be gone in 5 or 10 minutes. You think I'm lying? You watch and see. That's why it's so thin here. I'm going to say y'all should have came, because on that day I was short. Well, I'm going to try to make it out of here. But Eid is coming up in a couple of days, and this is one of our favorite ayats, and I want to read it in conjunction with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna Ibrahima kana umatan kanitan lil hanifan wa lam yaku min al mushrikeen. Indeed, Abraham was indeed a model devoutly obedient to Allah and true in faith, and he joined not gods with God. Okay. Inna Ibrahima kanitan umatan. You know what Allah is calling Abraham here? A ummah. This is exactly what it says. He's a ummah all by himself. Why? He's the only one worshiping Allah. Right? Remember, everybody else is dad. He's actually the son of the idol maker in town. The big idol maker, his dad, Azar, whatever his name is. His daddy makes idols. That's his job. Boy, look at this idol here. So Ibrahim come up in a society All he had to do was keep his mouth shut. He'd have been Billy Graham's son. You know what I mean? He going to step right into the priesthood. He going to be rolling big. And Inna Ibrahim kana ummatan ummah. Ibrahim was the ummah all by himself. So at one time the ummah was absorbed in, wrapped up in that personality. Can you imagine what a great gift that is? That's why they call him the father. So he's the father of Judaism, the father of Christianity, the father of everything, right? So they say the Abrahamic face. You ever see that? That's why at one time, Ibrahim was the father of civilization. Yeah, I mean, look at here, of religion. Let's call it that. Inna Ibrahim kana umatan kanitan. Kanitan, standing all by himself alone. And he didn't do like everybody. He was not one of the mushrikeen. Everybody else was a mushrik, right? His daddy is the chief idol maker. How would he come up and say, I don't know. How can that happen when everybody else is doing it? Right? Unless he has a God-given gift and is ready to endure and serve in the prophethood of the Anbiya. All right. So we're going to deal with that in a day or so. Eid al-Adha. That's what we're going to have. It'll probably be Tuesday. And Tuesday, we're going to, as usual, pray a little late, like 11:30. And, of course, then have a nice food, and then we'll pray again. And so this is a special Eid because this is the Eid of sacrifice. And the Eid of sacrifice tells the people that you're not going to get through this life without having to exchange some behavior for rewards. And that behavior is saying basically, you're just not going to get through this life without facing challenges. And according to the time that you live in and the place and the circumstances, it may be gigantic and it may be great. And we would say that from the history that we have, we faced many challenges. To come to the oneness of Allah, coming from absolute shirk, well, let's be beyond shirk. There's no name particular. We will look in the dictionary for what it was we was doing. But God of the universe, Father of civilization, good God Almighty. Whew. You know, so wonder the people that said it didn't get struck down by lightning. You know what I mean? Like if Allah had anger, but then that could have happened. But it says my wrath, right? My mercy outweighs my wrath. This is what Allah says in the Quran. Anyway, so let's see if we can wrap up here a little bit. Bismillah ar-Rahman. O you believe, persevere in patience, constancy, vie in such perseverance, strengthen each other, and fear Allah that you may prosper. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us. Fear Allah that you may prosper. And it happens to be on the next page. Let not the strutting about of the unbelievers through the land deceive thee. Don't let that braggadocious boss man strutting around with his chest out and his head up deceive you. Boss man is going through one of the most traumatic periods in history. Boss man getting hit by so many punches, all he do, everything. And he getting hit all by different levels of blows, he getting body blows, head blows, everything. His arrogance is being deflated because he ran into Iraq and they run him out of there, whooping him all the time. Whop, whop. Right? So he went into Afghanistan. 20 years. He didn't run off now, and he run off and left everybody. Western Vietnam, in Vietnam, remember them helicopters on the top of the embassy and all the people in 75 trying to hang on to the helicopters before they leave? This is worse. Boss man just left, is leaving Afghanistan right this minute. You can see he visually made a deal with Taliban. Although he spent millions and zillions of dollars building up the Afghan government, right? And they was wanting to know, boss man, why we having peace negotiations in Kuwait, wherever it was. Why we can't come? That is his people that he supported. Why we can't come? We didn't all learn English and we didn't all did this. And if you leave us here, which he will, or which he's already done, it's not new, right? When he left Iraq, he let 4 or 5 people come over here, but he left the people there that stayed there, that they snitched on, they was telling on, they was cooperating with boss man. He left them there. The Vietnamese that stayed with boss man to the last day, they was there with their little babies, trying to hang on the helicopter. You seen the last 2 took off. It was people holding on to them rods at the bottom. They was holding on. It didn't make no difference. It looked like the guy shook them off. Is it new? Absolutely not. He always does that. It was a Latino spoke in about 85 at a program we had. Well, he was Latino and Indian, and he was talking about Geronimo and what they thought about him. And it was talking about a movie that had just been made in maybe 92 or something like that. And they was putting all the Indians, the Apaches, on a train. They're desert Indians, and they put them on a train and send them to Florida. It was Florida, you already know. And so the Uncle Tom Indians that helped track them down, and they told them right at the train station, they said, okay, drop your weapons. They looked around. Huh? Drop your weapons. They dropped their weapons. They said, get on the train. Get on the train with the same people you, right? And see, that's our entry into the world. We have to remind people of that. That is not new. When they run off and leave the Iraqis are surprised. When they run off and leave the Afghanis are surprised. When boss man leave the people behind, that they done put their life on the line as translators, interpreters, and everything for him, boss man pack up and go. And he always, if you find some, he always leave them behind. That's where we come in. We have to remind the people, you're working with boss man now. Let me tell you about it. They're probably not going to believe you, because they'll sound like Marcos in the Philippines. He was a dictator for 25 years or something. I don't know how many people he killed. His wife had 3,000 pair of shoes. Imelda Marcos, y'all probably don't remember that. That child was laid out in zapatos, I'm telling you. So He was talking to Reagan, Mr. President, basically help. Well, you know, my hands is tied. My hands is tied by the Congress. My hands is tied by the Senate. And all these other services that I don't even remember their name. My hands is tied, Mr. President, talking to Marcos. But Mr. President, they come and they get the brother. I just told you my hands is tied. But I've been a loyal servant for decades. I'd really like to help you. I really would. We can tell the people and remind them that's his case all the time. They don't know it, or they don't want to know it. The Afghanis now that they're leaving back there are surprised, shocked. They could have looked at the history the other day. It wasn't a long time ago. It was in Iraq, right? They left them behind. The Kurds will be left behind. In Turkey, everybody, boss man. Anyway, we know how boss man is. The American Indians say, boss man speak with a forked tongue. You know, fork all them forks. He already knows that. In closing, dear believers, we got a serious world out here. And people want us to be losers. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want us to be so-called winners. In order to do that, we have to develop certain characteristics. Among them is to be able to resist evil. We have to have a long-range resistance to this evil system. In fact, we have to, if we desire, infiltrate it and rescue this system. Rescue the people. Here's what we mean. We say it every week for the last. If you would watch white people down in Louisiana, they're flooding into the state police and things like that. Now, boss man then showed you that he's not friendly, he's not in charge. That means there's chaos. When they reach a level of chaos, they have to call in the police forces. Well, black people, if they want to save their wives and children and families, they have to join the police force. Last month, we would have told you don't do that. This month is a different time. The speed of transformation and change has accelerated. That means, by our estimation, it could be right and it could be wrong. By our estimation, we don't have the time, right, to invite everybody to Islam. And there's too many blocks for them coming to Islam. And the chances if they come to Islam, they're not going to come to you and I today. They're going to go to the people that's on boss man's side, right? That have no idea of what we're talking about. When they join the system, it's to get a flag on their heart saying, God bless America, right? Okay, we're not saying that. We're saying join the system to protect yourself. Get you a badge, get you a gun, get you a police identity to save and rescue your family, and do it in numbers. And we also encourage the Latino community. Of course, every other community of color, but especially African Americans and especially Latinos. And the Latinos and African Americans would not be at each other's throat. They would realize, like in the old days, the Black Panthers, the Brown Berets. were on very good, friendly basis. Right? All right. Therefore, we don't have time for a big secret plot, secret scheme. We have to come right out and say, I will raise my hand, I want to defend the Constitution of America. That's what you say. And the Constitution of Maryland. Why? Because at least you'll be alive. You have a chance to be rescued. If you keep the Constitution together. Why is that? Because the Constitution says you have a right of freedom and you have a right. So we're going to institute that, right? You see what I mean? And we have the numbers. Or we will have the numbers. That means we will work hard to be educated. Those people a few months ago we was calling coons and Uncle Toms because they was exerting the system, or they was in the system. We're not saying that now. We're saying the system. And if you're white and you want to save the whales and you want to save the forest, you join the forest rangers. You join every institution they got to protect whales. Right? If you want to save them, you join the one that's supposed to protect whales, right? You join the ones that's supposed to protect the forest. Don't go out there like before putting spikes in trees. Spike, you know them. They cut down all the big trees in the forest, so they drill iron rod into the tree. And the poor guys don't know. They got them big old saws, and when that saw hit that rod in the tree, it harms, cuts, kills. It could destroy the guys with themselves. We're saying, don't waste your time doing that. You become protectors of that. That's what we say. That's because that's what we got right now. We don't have nothing else. You see what I'm trying to say? And plus, America is crashing fast. When chaos developed, everybody run around crazy. So what do you have to do? You have to have yourself and your 10 friends that you done taught how to shoot, and so you're a legal police, and you have a house full of guns like all the white police, and you have reached a parity. So you're 25 or 30% of all these departments, of the Army and everything, and now you have enough, a critical mass where you can protect yourself. You know why? Even the Uncle Tom black police don't shoot black children, do they? Tell the truth. How many black police? Maybe one that shot somebody, right? But every time you see a black kid being shot, it's by a white police, right? So even if they stay Uncle Tom's, at least you got a chance to stay alive till you can do something else. You see what I mean? This is a pattern that we're trying to adopt. Ain't nobody playing. Boss man ain't playing with you. Okay. Toughness, willpower, resistance, durability. Yeah, become prison guards, become all of that stuff. You won't get rich, but you'll at least have enough money to eat. And I hear that they pay niggas to go to school for all of that. And if a white lady can become the chief of police because she kept going to college, right? Then think of all the Negroes. They're going to be the captains. They're going to be the lieutenants. They're going to be the sergeants, right? Because they're coming out of university. They're not going to just slump in there and just, I got a job. No, they're there for a purpose. Of course, they can't say we're here for a purpose, right? That's today. That's now. That's what we have to do. That's what we should do. Okay? Do it or don't do it. You know, I'm 76 years old, so I got a shot at making it to 86. But I know the smoke and the waves and the filth and all that is increasing. Isn't that right? Somebody has to have a program that does something, right? You have to have some type of platform. Let's adopt this now while we're still alive. Because when they start throwing people overboard, who they going to throw overboard first? If you can't protect yourself, boss man is so mean, you have no concept of how mean boss man is. Most of you are too young, and most of you have never been in the back room with boss man by yourself. I've been back there many times by myself. When you by yourself with boss man, he expresses to you, this is who I am, nigga. Da-da-da-da-da. And you get lucky. Sometime one get away, one walk out alive. All my friends been killed by that monster. Yeah, they wiped them out. Everybody you read about in the Black Panther, Black Nationalists, I'm from Oakland, of course. Most of them was my friends. In exile, most of them was my friends. Some of y'all saw the paperwork, but people are still over there writing me and says, send me some more. In fact, one of my friends say, man, send me some more of them tapes to my mother. So you can imagine if he's telling me to send him some tapes to his mother, then I must be somewhere in the thing. And some of the last ones that did heavy years in the pen, you can see them. There's the pictures, they're here. We was in exile together. But you go to them right now and say, hey, man, we want to participate. I don't know. Well, see, here's the thing. You've never did 30-something years in the penitentiary. So you can't say, man, that guy done softened up. Well, if you laying on that hard mattress for 30-something years, if you're in exile in Africa and running all over the world and don't nobody send you no money, and life gets so bad you have to come back here, right? You have to come back here because you're under assumed name. So if you had a degree where you could be a doctor, you could go and do whatever you want. There's only one of us that became a doctor under false pretenses, under false ID. If you look in 1983, something like that, was it Ebony? I went to my doctor in Oakland one time. He said, did you know Dr. John Branyan? I said, man, he was an older doctor. I said, did you and Doc go to school together? He said, no, and he showed me the magazine that had an article. Out of the only one that got a job was Dr. John Branyan. He was with all of those Negroes of that day, them Johnson publication and all that. He was the first Negro chief at Chicago Hospital. You can look him up on the thing. He died in 94. We used to travel together. But Doc, when I came back here, Doc was able to get employment as a doctor. You know who he got it from? Idi Amin. Yeah. Y'all remember the movie King of Scotland or something? Did Idi Amin always needed some doctors? Always, for some reason. Well, my friend became Idi Amin's doctor. You can read it, you can find it. Anyway, he had pictures. Shaba's attack with Idi Amin. And I'm going to drift and then close. Now, you know, Idi Amin was loved by Africans. Loved. Because he did to white folks what all the other Africans wanted to do. Boy, Idi Amin. And they talked about him bad. You'd have thought he was Hezbollah or somebody. He's drinking the blood of little children. Remember that stuff? Idi Amin sacrifices little children. I said, good God Almighty, Idi. I mean, they really working on you, man. And then he put all the Asians out, the Indians. And so that is the situation. You have to have someone that has some background in the reality that we've been going through. And we're gladly doing it. We're not going to do nothing else. And it ain't no struggle like it is for most people. Man, you ain't scared. Scared of what? Just imagine if everybody else get killed and you get a chance to get to be 70-something years old, right? What you got to be scared of? You done already outlived everybody doing the stuff that we talk about. Don't nobody remember. You have to remind them that it really happened, right? Why? Because all the people that passed through that, they got Imam Jamil in prison for the rest of his life, and he's gone blind. And when he went in prison, everybody in his group helped him go to prison, sent him to prison. Yeah, the whole crew. Yeah. And now they done stole the community from him. Okay. O Allah, we seek thy refuge from anxiety and grief. We seek thy refuge from lack of strength and laziness. We seek thy refuge from cowardice and niggardliness. And we seek thy refuge from being overpowered by debt and the oppression of men. O Allah, suffice us with what is lawful, keep from us what is prohibited. With thy grace, make us free from want of what is besides thee. Ameen. Iqamati salat.